trip to Nepal. And, well, let's not beat around the bush here, X. Let's be very real. Okay, it's real time with Goldenboy and X. Rogue should dominate this game.
They should. I mean, look, they get back to Vegas. They have the better setups, better internet connections and whatnot. Kungarna arguably missing, well, I don't even know if it's really arguable. I mean, they're missing their star player in Baby Bay. Coming into this one, it'll be Jordan playing for him. It's going to be very tough for Kungarna, and it's a hard one to look at for them because they're a team in playoff contention with Rogue. Like, this is a must-win match for Kungarna. And if Rogue can get like a 4-0 here, I mean, they already have more maps than FNRGFE and Kungarna. So, I mean, it would just be pretty devastating to Kungarna's playoff chances. I
was going to say, I said it's like Jordan not taking the court. I think a better comparison is like if Allen Iverson didn't take the court for the 76ers. You remember that run that they had?
They were relying on Aaron McKee. I think was like their backup.
So, oh boy, I remember that one. Guy literally carried everything all the way to the end.
It's actually not that impressive, but I can actually probably name a lot of players from the Philadelphia 76ers from the Allen Iverson era.
Really?
Yeah.
It's impressive.
I mean, it's not something I
because they were all very forgettable.
It's not like Bren writes his own like Wikipedia page. I would probably put that on my trivia. Is that I can name most of the 2000 era Philadelphia 76er players.
Fun fact, just to reiterate, Bren wrote his own Wikipedia page. Anyway, moving on though into the game here. Kungarna versus Rogue on Nepal here. We're going to be kicking things off on the Village, and AKM already opening it up with a stop on to Remix here. And Rogue, so far so good, as they force back Kungarna.
Yeah, they get Bishu demeched. They take one player out at the beginning. It's going to be Rogue taking the first point here. You see they're going to cap it. And one thing over the last few weeks, I remember the Immortals series. AKM was such a factor on the 76. Now that you have them playing from Vegas, on their more comfortable setups, expect him to be even better.
Yeah.
And I think, you look at Rogue as a team, right? If you were, Envy, who obviously has a pretty nice lock here on the #1 seed, like, you would not want to see a Rogue who's really starting to play well in that first round. It's going to be a very tough match.
And already when they dive in, they lose their Tracer and their Winston, Kungarna. So now they just have to disengage here. It's going to be Rogue basically stopping them at the front door there, shutting down that second push from Kungarna.
I mean, they don't even really have a chance to engage. I mean, they go in, they drop 2 players almost immediately. They're forced to back up. See some of the Zen stats there for Unco thus far through Contenders Season 1. I think, at the beginning of the season, right, it was a lot of talk about the Rogue supports. They can't stay alive, not doing a good job. Now you're starting to see everybody starting to click.
I also like that Unco playing with AKM there, typical of what you'd see. And well, soon, I mean, goodbye, Corey. And here's the other thing, right? Without Baby Bay there, Baby Bay was so good at just getting some great positioning and really taking advantage of 76 and all the tools that he had available to him. I just don't see the same thing with Corey, and Rogue just runs right through them again.
So Corey falls to the pulse bomb, and then Michael is there trying to contest. I mean, nobody else from Kungarna going to come out onto the point. So what happens? Corey spawns up, everybody gets ready for Kungarna, and now Michael falls. So now, I mean, they've pretty much given 75% and counting to Rogue. Without Rogue really forced to work for it that hard, Rogue now has every ultimate on the board. Here's going to be the attack visor coming in from AKM.
And they have no support. Also, Dogman, right at the nick of time, was able to bring out the Transcendence there. He went into that fight with about 85% there. So at the very least, was able to keep them sustained onto the point. But the kills, though, still coming into the favor. And goodbye, Pooch. You ain't dropping the beat, my friend. Nothing for you. And that will be Rogue just dominating this one through and through. My goodness, that was destruction on the side of Rogue.
That was not very close.
No, not at all,
That was not very close. From start to finish, that was dominated by Rogue. Kungarna not able to make it back towards the point really at all. Pooks dies right before he uses the sound barrier there in that final fight. Did not look good there.
He was going to drop
Kungarna at the beginning. Nope,
the music died that day.
I hate that joke. You keep using that joke. I'm going to stop it.
I don't know how. That's the first time I've used that joke. What do you mean?
I don't know. I've heard it before.
I mean, I'm sure it's been used before. It's not the most original thing in the world.
It's true.
It's
okay though. I respect it. I'm going to be the positive influence you need in your life, and I'm going to support you.
It was applicable in that situation,
I'm going to laugh whenever you make a joke.
Thanks, man.
No problem.
Have my back,
It's one of the hardest
That's what a co-caster is supposed to do.
one of the hardest jobs in America. So you see,
just have Goldenboy's back.
So we see Rogue. It'll be soon now going over to the Junkrat They'll have AKM stay on the 76. We've talked about how good he's been on. And they'll run with the Zarya-Reinhardt combination in terms of tanks. Same thing on the side of Kungarna, except you won't have the Junkrat.
Yeah, I'm loving the Junkrat play here that we've been seeing all day for our Super Week here in NA, and already Remix falls. So once again, the tank going out early. We saw it happen on Village, and now we're seeing it here yet again. And they're just in full control, rolling right through them. It honestly looks like Kungarna, it just looks like they literally have no answer for Rogue.
Remix just gets kind of caught all behind enemy lines. Nobody else there to help him out. You see Kungarna trying to make their way through the entrances. A lot of damage being put down by AKM, and soon just firing away. As the Junkrat, you see Remix actually going for a charge, gets knocked up in the air by one of the mines. Soon now, he does have his Riptire. It'll be the nano boost used from Kungarna. Oh, as he goes high off the wall here, trying to make a World Star play. Doesn't work out. Few kills go in favor of Kungarna. So now Kungarna getting back towards the point.
Yeah, well, you know, good to see Kungarna, right, just, you know, rallying together, getting back out there. Remix, I mean, I was a little worried there for Remix at first because he went into it with about half health right out of the gate and was able to just stay alive there. But now
wasn't the ideal charge from Remix. You know, he decides to charge, he gets launched up into the sky, but able to stay alive through it. I think he's able to stay alive because he gets the effects of the nano boost.
Yeah.
Here in the next fight, for Rogue, you'll have, I know, both your support ults, you'll have a grab, you'll have attack visor. Kungarna, though, they do have a great combination here. You could see Bijou use that Graviton Surge, combine it with Michael's Pulse Bomb. Here comes the grabs out from both sides. The Pulse Bomb comes in. Believe he sticks it right onto the shield and ice.
So Kungarna able to hold on here for the time being, as it's been a bit of a struggle for them, especially on Village. But now we're starting to see Kungarna stabilize a bit here. Rogue having to go back onto the back foot now, and Kungarna forcing them back here.
Well, Rogue actually holds on to their Graviton Surge during that fight, so they don't end up using that ultimate. They just use their Nano Boost, it looks like. So Kungarna, they'll have Nano and they'll have Sound Barrier to get through that Graviton Surge that Nico's going to try and land.
Riptire Grav combo here, maybe?
Possibly.
Okay, let's see if it happens. Look for Nico to jump in with that Graviton Surge. There goes the Graviton. Does he opt to use the Riptire here? Still, I don't hear it coming out just yet. There goes the Sound Barrier as they are able to pick up 2 kills now. And although they are able to drop one of the supports there for Rogue, still though, this is looking like a fight that Rogue, they're just going to try and see if they can even the odds as best as they could by eliminating Pooks. Now they have a little bit of presence here and could very well shut this down. Oh, bye-bye, Tracer. Actually, I think the Tracer recall, never mind, that's not going to matter because they're going to get flip it right there. But 85% gain for Kungarna though, X. So that was overall not bad.
Yeah, I mean, positive hold there from Kungarna. They're able to get up to 85% in terms of overall score. Now coming into the next fight, you know, they'll have the Pulse Bomb, they'll have Tac Visor soon, still with this Junkrat Riptire. So we'll see how he decides to use it. Maybe if he sees a few players clumped up, they'll kind of take a different route with it, as now he's going to bust out the Riptire, a few players directly around this corner. See what route he decides to take. He's able to get one. So I like that decision, right? Doesn't get too gritty, gets one there, and he lands it on the support.
Yeah, and it's okay, right, to just be able to get at least one player with your ultimate. I mean, that is a worthwhile use of it. But Michael is going to try and bring his team back into this one here, keep them going in this fight. But I think Kungarna, despite the Pulse Bomb coming through, recognize that they're just going to have to disengage. 74% gain for Rogue at this time.
I mean, you get 2 with the Pulse Bomb, but I mean, all of your teammates are dead, so I don't know really what the use of the Pulse Bomb was there, because now
they had like 3 guys up at that time.
You would have had Grab and Pulse Bomb here as AKM just sitting around the corner. Gonna use the Flashbang on a Remix. Gets him weak. It will be Kungarna taking the point back. It's going to be a Deadeye, and he's going to get the effects of the Nano Boost as well. AKM going off here. Able to take out 2. We'll see if he can make it his way back towards the point. The point is in favor of Kungarna. Takes out Michael there. It will swing back in favor of Rogue. There'll be 99% here for Kungarna. They do have the Nano Boost. They do have their Earth Shatter. Bijou switches off of the Zarya. He'll go over to the Diva here. As, it's going to be an Earth Shatter comes in from Remix. He actually gets hit with 2 mines there from the Junkrat, not able to get any follow-up.
Now we're going to be in overtime, and here comes the Riptire to the back line. It's going to manage to take out Dogman there, and they do get the kills necessary. Pooks is going to have to eat a couple grenades there. Corey, oh my goodness, my friend, you're just going to get backed up by those double mines. And now they try and go in for the stall here. Graviton Surge comes through. You can't move, and that will be Rogue taking it 2-0.
Point number 1, dominated by Rogue. Point number 2, Kungarna played much better. But once I know Rogue got some ultimate advantages, AKM switches over to the McCree. You saw them take that point back.
This was a really good play because they didn't really see him there. He got absorbed by the graviton, by the proximity of it. But he was able to just stay alive and avoid a lot of that, a lot of the hits coming out from the Reinhardt there, and then just shredded them all at that point.
Yeah, and I thought you saw some odd usage of ultimates there from the side of Kungarna. The one I can remember is where, 2 or 3 players dead from Kungarna. Michael uses a pulse bomb, gets 2. A really nice pulse bomb.
He got 2, and he had 3 members alive, but they just didn't have the follow-up.
But they're already backing out at that moment in time. You would have had a Graf plus pulse bomb for that next fight. So just some small things that come out from Kungarna that, don't result, in working out well in their favor, which hurts them in map number 1.
I saw a little bit of life from Kungarna, but ultimately, a little bit, just a tad, but it will be Rogue who comes out on top, and now we're at 1-0, but we're going to go to a quick break. When we come back, it's going to be map 2, and let's see where Kungarna decide to take us. Welcome back, folks, as we get ready for game number 2, Rogue versus Kungarna. Currently, Rogue up 1-0 here, and Kungarna will be taking us to Eichenwald X.
Yeah, I mean, obviously don't want to go to Numbani. That is a map that we've seen Rogue be very good on, I know, in the past, and then here at Contenders Season 1. So you go over to Eichenwald, and I think this is where we're going to see a ton of Junkrat. We saw Taimu play Junkrat. I know earlier in the season. Remember that game? It was just nuts. And I think this is one where you can just keep on the defensive side, spamming the choke. The double mines come into effect like we saw in Nepal. I think Junkrat could be a factor here on the map number 2.
Without a doubt. I'd be shocked if we don't see any Junkrat on Eichenwald, given just the favorability that this hero has had coming into this patch because of the update. We've gotten to see a variety of heroes this time around, which has been very refreshing. I know for a long time the community very vocal about just seeing one composition, mirror comps on each side, the dive, the dive, the dive. But now we're starting to get some more looks here, and it's been very enjoyable to watch.
Yeah, I think when a new patch comes into the competitive game, right? I think a lot of people just trying some different things out, trying different combos that work and whatnot. Yeah, Doomfist. I remember when he came in, I know you saw a lot of teams experiment with him. It'll be Rogue on defense first, and at least at the start. So this is a little bit interesting. So you'll have your Reinhardt plus Nico will now be running Roadhog. So you're not going to have Diva. You don't have Zarya. You'll have okay. So he's going to switch up. So you will have Zarya. Sorry guys. So Nico just trying to play games with our hearts here. Is I will not see Roadhog here on Eichenwald on defense. Maybe we will. Okay, so he's making some. He's having a crisis in the spawn. He doesn't know what he wants to do.
Having a hero crisis.
AKM will go over to McCree. We saw him use that on Nepal in the second point. And Soon now will be playing the Junkrat. It's quite interesting to see Soon play something other than the Tracer, which we've seen him play for months and months now. Kungarna. Nothing looks like it's going to change on their side, right? I mean, you'll still have Michael on Tracer. You'll have Corey filling in for Baby Bay.
Sorry for
pick
anyone.
up his role.
The camera
on the
moving
76.
so fast there.
You will have Nico run the Roadhog. So see how they play against the Roadhog Junkrat combination. Michael's already dead.
That was the most defeated sound I've ever heard from you, man. He's already dead. But you know what, though? Rogue, I mean, they're using the Aussie Junkers here, and I'm pumped for this. Good to see some more Roadhog in play. That hook, once again, such a difference maker. You also don't need to worry too much about the heals because of Take a Breather. Oh, Michael. Oh, goodbye.
He's dead again.
He's dead one more time. That's 2. So this is just going to slow down Kungarna even more here.
And you can't be slowed down if you don't even begin moving to begin with. If you're stationary, you can't be slowed any further than being stationary.
It was more of a metaphorical thing,
Okay. Well, I take everything literally, so.
Well, Michael switches over to the Genji. I guess he got tired of getting hooked as Tracer. Maybe he gets hooked as Genji.
And you had Remix switch over to the Reinhardt. You've had Bijou switch over to Zarya. So some changes coming in here. A lot of damage, though, still going down onto these shields. You have Nico putting shots down. As Roadhog, you have all of the things that Junkrat can provide in terms of damage. As we have not really seen Kungarna advance past this initial choke.
No. 3 first picks in favor of Rogue. Shutting down Michael twice and Bijou. They're just going to have to wait this out. And here we go. Rip Tire coming through. And it was right over the buildings there. Didn't get a kill, but still made everyone really worried. You kind of saw everyone turtle up a little bit there, X.
Yeah, and a lot of ults coming online here for Rogue. You'll have your Earth Shatter. You have Deadeye. You have both support ults. For Kungarna, you're going to have your Sound Barrier. You're going to initiate with the Sound Barrier. First, Rogue going to use their Sound Barrier as well. Corey here using his Tac Visor, not able to get anything. So a few ults being used there by Kungarna, they get nothing for him.
And again, a first pick in favor of Rogue as they take out Bijou a second time there. And now Michael ends up falling on that one. And while they do end up getting knocks, I just don't see a world where they can push up here, effectively. And here comes the whole hog as he pushes forward with it. But that biotic nade, well, I was going to say the biotic nade could have been the thing that would have helped out Kungarna to be able to take out the Roadhog there, but they're stopped once again, and they're just going to have to play this one slow as Hog goes back, gets some help, teammates back on the attack again, and another Rip Tire for Soon.
Just the damage he's putting down, just earning the Rip Tire pretty quick. He's able to get Remix out of the equation.
Every fight so far has been a first pick.
There's been no progress here.
Every fight for Rogue has been a first pick.
It's a huge Earth Shatter in the spawn as well from Nox. He knocks down a few players. He's going to back up. Here's going to be Michael with a Dragon Blade. He's instantly dead. As Rogue doing a fantastic job holding on defense.
They just cannot get through. Oh, my goodness, Corey, you got to get away from that one there. He ends up getting hooked. But again, right, that just, displaces them. confuses them.
We're at 60 seconds left, and we have not seen really any progress through the initial choke here for Kungarna. They do have, their Graviton Surge. You would like to have the grab with the Dragon Blade they just used and got nothing for it. But Rogue, they have both support ults here. Yet again, Nico getting very close to Whole Hog. Here comes the Graviton Surge. That's going to be the sound barrier coming in for Rogue. It'll be a nano boost onto Nico as he goes Whole Hog, but he doesn't really get much for it. Remix takes out the players inside the grab. It'll be Corey using his tack visor as well. As
they get the kills,
gets on the point.
They finally get the kills, and at the 11th hour, it feels like Kungarna finally makes their way onto the point after being stopped time and time again. But it took that Graviton Surge and just a lot of guts to push their way through there and be able to get that first cap on point A. So in any case, guys, I mean, when you really think about it here, Kungarna, they lost a lot of time on that one, man. A lot of time.
And here, another Rip Tire coming out. Okay, so here's going to be that aggressive defense that we saw from Envision last week. You remember that? Before they can make it back to their spawn, everybody's getting blown up there. It's going to be a Rip Tire coming out from Soon. That makes it a little bit easier to play aggressive defense. I know when you're able to use an ultimate ability there, Goldenboy, I'm going to break this down for you.
Yeah, go ahead, X, please.
That can blow out multiple opponents at once, and they all die. It's a lot easier to keep your teammates alive as you push towards the opponent's spawn.
Interesting. And you know what the good news is, X? We're going to see this all come out.
Oh, look at this.
Look at this here. And right there, just getting 3 kills with
like
the tire.
Some X Games stuff there.
Playing the walls there. Oh, man. Well, Rogue, they're stopping them at the front, at their door, at their spawn door.
And mind you, the gate is still not open where the payload has to go through. So this would be an interesting hold here from Rogue if they're able to do it, which would pretty much be on offense. If they take the payload, they would pretty much win the game at that point. As
look at the way this
Kungarna playing this a little bit slower. They do have the Dragon Blade. They're going to have attack visor here to use as well. But Rogue now, you have Unko switching, and he's going to be gunning with the Zenyatta now. You're going to have the Transcendence, and you're going to have the Sound Barrier here from Rogue as sustain ultimates.
And I think Soon was like, oh, I'll just go ahead back into the door. Wait a minute, the door isn't open yet, so he's just going to have to reposition himself here. Now we're under a minute remaining.
Like a very long time here as finally we see Nico take out Remix as you have AKM go over to the Diva here. You had Nico switch off of the tank role. He was playing Roadhog a little bit earlier.
Oh my
He's
God.
got a Dragon Blade of his own. Like, why is
Matt,
he
I'm
sitting
scared.
in their spawn? Why is
because they can't get out, man.
Like,
they
literally have so many ultimates. Be impressive. Do something.
Okay, well, they finally take out Unko, so that is going to tip the odds in their favor just a little bit here. Make that fight 6v5. And now Michael, with the Dragon Blade, is able to cut through the tanks as well as the support. So finally, we start to see some progress here for Kungarna, but it comes with 20 seconds remaining on the clock.
Yeah, I mean, they had to use their Dragon Blade in their Primal Rage to just get the payload through the gate. I mean, now for the side of Rogue, you have your Transcendence, you have your Sound Barrier, you have another Rip Tire, and you have a Dragon Blade. You have a ton of ultimates here for Rogue to stop the payload's progress, as we're already going to go into overtime.
And here we go, overtime in effect. Pooks is going to drop the beat there to keep his team in a fight because he knew that the members of Rogue were going to dive up from above there on the castle side. Soon with the kill onto Michael. And Corey, he's just going to get knocked back here, but he will have that, I was going to say the tack visor, but the Dragon Blade shuts him down, cuts him down to size, I should say. Now it's just going to be a matter of whether or not Kungarna can stay alive onto the point. They're trying their best to bring this one forward. Pooks was trapped onto that Junkrat trap there, and they're getting some more progress. At the very least, they're getting it a little bit around this bend, but man, this hold from Rogue was so impressive. And at that point, Kungarna, they were just counting their lucky little stars there to get any kind of progress with that payload.
Yeah, Kungarna towards the end, they use their Sound Barrier, and then they use the Transcendence. Before Nico even pops the Dragon Blade, they're also able to get one with the Rip Tire as well as Rogue. You see where the progress on the payload has been made. We have a pause here. It looks like an issue with AKM. It looks like AKM dropped out of the lobby, so we'll get him right back in and we'll start this action up.
What was that hold from Rogue? That was bananas.
It's like a Kungarna was like every time we would see like from a Nico's POV or whatever, the players were just like further back, like in their spawn, like not really even trying to, like at that point, right? Like if they get aggressive, maybe you can get a support out. Because the issue is you need to like be aggressive there to draw the support ults out. Because if you let Rogue win that or draw it out and they don't use the support ults, then you're screwed. Because once the gate opens, you've used a bunch of your ults. You didn't really force them to invest much of anything, which is exactly what happened there. Because you saw the Kungarna, they finally got aggressive. They used their Dragon Blade. They used their Primal Rage. And Rogue didn't use any ults. They held on everything. They were like, well, screw it. Like, if we lose it here, we lose it here. Yeah. And then the payload still has to go through the gate.
It was a successful... I mean, they pushed them so far back. It was like they were in Nepal at one point. That's how far back they were. Well, they could not get out at all. And then any shutdown there to just be able to force the overtime, one wipe, and then that's it.
Yeah, I mean, that was the issue, right? Is that, now Kungarna, when they get back towards that payload, they don't have their own Dragon Blade. They don't have, Primal Rage, maybe stay alive a little bit longer. And then their support ults come in before you see the Riptire and the Dragon Blade come out from Soon and Nico. So you don't have anything else on the offensive end to, like, even, like, if you had the Dragon Blade, like, maybe you can get towards the high ground, like, a little bit before, and maybe use, like, get a little bit aggressive, right? Like, leave one guy on the car and then get aggressive towards that top castle and, like, push on through with the sound barrier and the Dragon Blade, like, get a little bit aggressive on Rogue, but they just didn't have the tools to be able to do it.
I mean, and really just, it felt like the know-how either. It felt like they were lost at a certain point in time, Kungarna, because every time they pushed out, they just ended up losing someone early. And it even happened when you talk about the first couple pushes there.
Just to get to
get to that point was very trying for Kungarna.
They never really got great attempts at the beginning of the game because you had Michael die like 2 or 3 times in a row.
Michael died twice, Bishu died twice, and that just prevented any kind of pushes to happen there. They needed to reset at that point.
Yeah, and at that point, I mean, they need to just keep furthering back, like towards their spawn again. And at that point, you let Rogue build up some ults. Like, they're finally able to do it with the Grav.
Yeah.
But it just took way too long to develop for Kungarna.
Yeah, I mean, if we're being very realistic here, I wouldn't be surprised if Rogue just sweeps on through with given the way that they have been playing so far. You can clearly tell that this is a rejuvenated Rogue.
I agree, and then I also think you can definitely see the effects of not having Baby Bay on the side for Kungarna. I mean, just how good he is on the 76, and I know we've even seen him run very little Genji, but his Genji's been good as well. I think
Baby Bay's just a good player all around, and to lose him from your team,
he's a fantastic DPS player.
And what the Des was saying before, I mean, you're not really going to get that much out of Corey. Not to knock on the guy, but when you compare him to Baby Bay and the impact that man had on this team, it's night and day.
And especially when when Baby Bay was on the roster, you were already having, don't want to say issues in terms of DPS, but no, you were still lacking a little bit in the DPS department for Kungarna. I don't put any of that on Baby Bay, really. I just think it's just the way this team kind of is right now. And Rogue now will go on offense. Still some time to make some changes here. With AKM on the Diva, if he does stay with that, you expect Nico to be running the Genji. That's really the only times we've seen this team, put AKM on the Diva. We saw it a lot earlier when they were trying to run, more Genji, but recently when Rogue has had success, we've seen them run AKM on the 76, Nico on the Diva. It looks like they'll go a little bit for more of a dive here. And now Kungarna, see what they do on defense.
Well, Nico, fantastic Genji as well. Bear that in mind. I mean, yes, you can say what you want about their success rates as far as AKM on the Diva, but I do believe Nico, it justifies it when you have a guy who's able to output as much damage as Nico has been with Genji.
We haven't seen Kungarna run Junkrat either. It's something we saw Rogue use.
Well, they just went through a big change, though, right? They lost one of their primary DPS players, and I think they're just looking for Corey to fill a gap, right? A small gap, and that gap at 76, it just makes the most sense for them not to be too crazy and run different looks.
But they weren't having much success with this, so why continue?
I mean, it's a hard thing to say here, right? And so far, I mean, a very different situation from what we saw before. Rogue already putting presence onto the point A location here. And they finally get that first pick there. So the DMET comes through for AKM, but now it's going to come up to Nico. Can he just get a couple more stops there with Genji? Because so far he's just been running around pretty much unopposed here.
Soon lands a big pulse bomb, takes out 2 players. Everything just falls apart for Kungarna. So you lose your main tank at the beginning. Then you lose Michael, the Hands of Winds. The payload is unlocked. This game looking very close to being done. Yeah, look, I mean, Kungarna is not, you say Rogue, is not allowing Kungarna to push up towards them. They're just going to leave, you know, one guy.
They're going to dictate the battle.
Yep, they're going to take the pace. As you see Unko already getting a pick, it's going to force Transcendence on the side of Kungarna out, and now people on Rogue going to back out.
Hey, and you know what? That's successful, right? You're going to get them to use the Transcendence, given that the golden box of victory is so close. And on top of that, they opened up the wall already, so it was a good, you know, aggressive push there to kind of open the floodgates here for Rogue on their attack.
And Kungarna uses a Pulse Bomb. They use their Transcendence. It does not look like they're going to get a Sound Barrier here. So in the next fight, Rogue, you're going to have both your support ults. You're going to have Dragon Blade as well.
There goes a Primal Rage, knocking Unko back, and he is going to use the Transcendence to keep himself alive in this fight. Soon's able to take out 2 members of Kungarna there, and that will be one of the support members, which certainly will hurt them as they look to stay alive onto this point. Now the Sound Barrier comes through for Rogue as they're looking to put the finishing touches on this engagement, and the Dragon Blade to boot just slices and dices right through Kungarna, the golden box of victory right in front of them here, and all they got to do is just remove the Tracer, and they manage to do so. And ladies and gentlemen, that will be Rogue taking Eichenwald.
Dominant second half, well, dominant map overall from Rogue, right? They were fantastic on defense, getting aggressive. On the offensive side there, you saw them get very aggressive towards the Kungarna spawn. It forced out some ultimates on the side of Kungarna, and then Rogue in the end just had too much for Kungarna to deal with.
Yeah, way too many ultimates in their bank. And you talk about Rogue, this is a team that when they want to cash in on those ults, they do so swimmingly, and that will be a dominating performance there.
The way we've seen them play through the first 2 maps is the Rogue we expected to see
from the top of the season.
Long,
yeah,
right?
I agree. There was so much hype coming in for this team, right? You know, undefeated record, the best in the West, dominating everyone in NA, coming off of a beat invitational victory as well. Yep. And everyone had high hopes for them. And I mean, now this is the scary part here for, I think, everyone else in the bubble, because Rogue is looking like they are back.
Especially, too, a Rogue win here in terms of a 4-0 fashion would be huge for them, and it would really be a blow to Kungarna, NF, and our GFE, because Rogue is already ahead of them in terms of overall map count. So if there's some kind of tie there towards the end, those maps would be huge.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more, X. Rogue looking fantastic as they go up 2-0 in this series. When we come back, Puckett and the Desk are going to break down what we saw in maps 1 and 2. Don't go anywhere.